I am Excellent Inspiration, and this is one part of my quest to become greater through challenges, because games are not merely distractions, but opportunities to master ourselves and come out stronger. This game is called He Is Coming, a new indie game I've made it my mission here to beat, getting as many wins in a row as champion as possible. And now, about the game. The main play pattern is that there's a time limit to get stronger as seen on top of the screen. The way to do that is by items. Thus, it's a game about getting synergies and planning around your opponent. While on the map, you travel around, opening chests with common items inside, killing monsters for gold to spend at shops, while searching for rare nodes, because those are what really shape the run. This is my first real attempt at making an unbeatable build. That is, a bomb synergy designed to do as much damage as possible at the start of the game, and end it before the opponent can do anything at all. The core synergy of the build is Explosive Roast, which does 1 damage 4 times at the start of the game. And that is helped by the Gunpowder and the Talisman, which is about the exact same thing, which makes every take a bomb damage do 1 additional. So 3 roasts means each one does 4 damage, for a total of 16 per. And then there are a few other bits that do extra damage, but they aren't all that relevant. So you can watch as the damage ticks above the enemy's head. You can see each of the ticks doing damage, first to his shield, and then to his health, and everything else is irrelevant because I've already won. The first win accomplished. My champion will now gather 1 crown for each win against other players. Tune in later to see how many I got, which will be right now. Alright, 7 wins. Not too great, not too bad at all. I was defeated by K. It would seem that the primary reason is that they have 2 of the cloak, which heals 1 health per every time they take damage, and because my build is built around doing damage a large number of times, they heal up from every point of that. And they also heal. They have 2 potions which double their HP, and they gain damage every time it happens. So overall, looks like it's a cactus build built solely to counter the cherry build. Alright, that's gonna happen. There is almost no way I could win here. It's only a matter of time before they hit me for, what, 200 damage? Or they also have the boot that does 1 damage each time I hit them too. Yep. Alright, strategy time. There exists finite builds in the meta, that being Thorn build, Cherry build, Speed build, Tank build. So the question remains, what is one set that can counter every major build? So here's what I got. To start out, a perma-stun combo. The way it works, the 2 mirrors are essentially otherwise worthless, but they give the combined set effect. That means any effect applied onto me gets applied on the enemy. And then applied on me, it's 2 bats and the amulet to double each trigger. The bats will stun me once every 4 turns. So if I have 2 of them, that's twice every 4 turns. And if I double that, that's 4 every 4 turns. Meaning that with this combo alone, I can beat any opponent if I have more health at the end due to fatigue damage. They will never get to attack no matter what. So after that, how do I win? Boom. To counter the Thornton's build, I have a weapon that does not ever attack. The weapon takes 1 speed to apply 1 acid and 2 poison. That way, no matter what they have, they'll permanently ramp up. But it costs 1 speed. How do I counter that? Boots that give me 1 speed when speed reaches 0. Easy. Next question. How do I manage the first turn before anything happens? Stun. It stuns both players for 2 turns. Meaning it stuns me for 2 turns. Those 2 get reflected to 2 plus 2 on the enemy. Actually, it becomes 3 turns to 6 turns with the amulet. But what about Cherry build? Cherry build will not care about stuns whatsoever. Well, this is my Cherry build from the first round. If you do the math, it ends up being 75 damage for the first turn. That is 4 triggers of 4 each one dealing 4 damage, plus 8 damage from the acid, plus the 4 damage from the individual bomb, making it increased by 12 damage total. I might have gotten the math a bit wrong, but what matters is that this is far from the perfect build. I invested into speed with the boots, I invested into long-term damage with the honey bomb, and the mist armor was for padding the build. Also, acid is non-optimal. So, what might an optimal build look like? So here's what that could be. This is the optimal version of the build. That is 6 meat, triggering each for 7 damage, each of which is having 4 triggers. To a grand total of 168 damage on the first turn with the speed staff. Now that, however, is simply not possible to reliably do without cheating. Okay, let's look at the defensive stats. We got, there are 2 different ways for defense stats. That is on the top level for a value of 6 per common item. That is the leather belt for 6. And that is the champion armor, which is 6 if you get it to the final form. So each of them start out with a value of 6, and that goes to 24 per each base diamond. Then if we have a single honey ham, that means each one has a value of 48. 48 plus the 10 starting health is nowhere near enough with those 2 items. That's 58. But if we say have 3 total diamond belts and the honey ham, then that goes to 154. And as you can see, that is not enough. So we have to take the safe bet that anyone getting to this perfect of a build is simply not possible. It's unfortunate, but that's the math. Getting this build is not likely at all. So moving back, boom, 2 diamond belts and a honey ham. That gets to 106. That should cover a majority of bomb builds, and it doesn't need to have speed. Then what for the last one? Every single one of these items I could get on the run. The last spot was left flexible. I think I'll go for the mist armor. That way, a speed build, which works by the acid trigger, applying like 100 acid and triggering expose, and then having the expose bomb do 200 damage or whatever, double the acid. That cannot work if I can never trigger expose in the first place, which cannot trigger if armor gets put onto me by like the stone tail. And even if it does, the mist armor prevents that. Likely that'll be a flexible spot. And now the hard part. Oh, plus 10 from the mist armor. And now the hard part. Actually getting there. And the difficult part is that most of these items do not work on their own combo. For example, both of the mirrors, hard to get, basically worthless. Health is not the best for smaller bosses because it's hard to regen up without a dedicated item for that. The staff, it really needs the boot to do anything long term. The problem is that the boot is virtually worthless without a payoff. So it's kind of a build where everything needs everything else, meaning that there needs to be scaffolding. Not only that, but because 6 of these items are blue, that means you need grinding coins. Thankfully, the coin is on the woodland pack right here. So that's a useful coincidence. The coffin could be useful, but it all depends up on the competitors in the run. Let's get to it. It's gonna be a reset. What is one? What is that? Oh yeah, I win. Right? Once I don't, but I do. That's a bit better. Also love the other commons. It's a huge golem warp. Oh, well, I get it anyway. Oh, mirror is amazing here. Yeah, I hard counter. Awesome. Okay. Love that. Love that. And love that too. Okay, this could be the build. This could be the run. Oh no, whatever will I do about that amount of thorns? That is really good. Bat. Okay, this is so close to being the run. This could be it right here. Yeah, I'll buy the bat. Or beta security. And then fight. Look how high that number goes. Nice. Final one before the end. Another just raw stats build. Let's do up and straight left past the eyeball. 3 more rolls, then shop. It's the easiest chest around. Gotta be something, right? Come on, bat. Bat. Heck. Bat. Oh! This is a run then. One slot open on the prospect. My heart is racing. Okay. Fight boss. And I accept every challenge completion. Pokemon Argent, here I come. And that's win. Challenge champion. Twin streak. Mirror absolutely is huge. 45 armor. So his durability. He wants to win by converting armor to attack every turn. And eventually hitting me with that. Doesn't have any other win con. So he gains max health. He gains 45 max health. And he doubles that. So I think he's gonna be in like 200 range. That's like 150-ish armor he gains. Then he gains armor again. It's 2 honey foods. Huge amounts of armor. All I'm looking for is 2 leather belts. 1. Wow. Okay. Okay. Want the wounded trigger one. I have that trigger, so be sure not to mess it up. I'm worried about failing the wounded trigger. Salt crusted crown. Crown right on top. And then I'll go get a good night's rest. Here it is. The build to get 100 plus wins. I am XN Conquest. This battle has just gotten started. Here we go. Infinite stun forever. And ramping acid and ramping poison forever. And there it is. Perfect in everything except the crown, which would be better off with diamond leather. Where the? I'll build it up. Let's see how to do it. What was it? On there. No, it wasn't like fruit. What? What is this? What? Oh, how is this going? What? Make it super armor? Alright, voice over here. While the battle is playing in the background, let me explain. The challenger is using a Jink interaction, which is what happens when they take damage, they gain Thorn. When they gain Thorn, they gain armor. But since Acid, the thing that moves armor, counts as damage itself, they always end with at least 1 armor. And from that, since poison only works when armor is out, it means poison will never tick on them, dealing any damage at all. Thus, the winner of this battle is decided by the amount of health alone, since they will permanently be stunned. My Stone Armor, which gives 40 armor doubled to 80 with the rune, meant to counter Cherry Build, is worthless here. And thus, because I have 42 and they have 75, I lose. Alright, back to the planning phase. In the meantime, since the last clip, I have tried out one more build, which would replace the 3rd Forest Pack with the 2nd Forest Pack. The benefits of which are that I get allowed to have the Health Crown, which gives 8 health per base common compared to 6 health for the base belt or 5 health for the base meat. And the other part is that the boots that give infinite speed can be replaced with golden speed earrings, which will by default give half a speed a turn, but level 2 that goes to 1 speed a turn, which perfectly replaces the boot. But trust me, I've tried it on several builds, and it's too painful to show. I spent probably about 5 hours grounding for the build and not making any great runs, because of the fact that both of those items are in jewelry boxes, although they're found in exactly one biome, and even then they're uncommon to find, and nowhere near guaranteed, because they are 2 of many items in the same pool. So I'm moving to a new plan. That is going back to pack 1 of the first pack, the most basic one. The main highlights of which are that I get Honey Ham, which as I mentioned earlier, gets to double the base health of my health pool, which is not just double the belt, but also double base health too. But instead of getting infinite speed, I then go for Diamond Lemon and the Lemonade, which is Honey Lemon combination, which also doubles base speed, meaning that I'll get about 30 base speed, which is a lot if everything goes right. And thus, onwards and upwards. Alright, let me explain what I've been doing in the run to optimize RNG. That is, items you see here pollute the pool. For instance, Grilling Skewer is unlocked by having 2 cauldron items in my inventory. And because it's a common and it's a weapon, that means I would see it frequently in a run. So when I get 3 options, that will commonly be one of them. If, for instance, I happen to be on an account that never got that achievement, well, it could never show up, wouldn't it? And that's exactly what I did. I went to settings on another account, click reset save data, then boom, back to the beginning, and then only unlock achievements I need, like for the Bubble Glorp, and a few others, as you will now see here. Alright, back in voiceover to explain this run. I end up getting the Iron Skin potion with the potion enhancer, which is very good because that not only doubles my health, but also gives me that exact amount of health in shield. So in other words, it's a ×3 against burst, ×2 in general. Very good. Another reason in addition to Honey Ham to get the first pack. Also, I end up getting, what is it? The coffin for more healing, but I swapped that out for honey because I plan to get lemonade right there. I get lemon syrup. Very nice, which means I get extra speed, and soon enough I am at the very end facing the challenger, and the run has been completed. There it is, champion. Oh my god, finally. This has taken so long. Genuinely the hardest mental time I've had with the challenge. It takes so much effort, like 30 minutes to an hour for one run, just to lose to RNG with nothing better I could have done. And you have nothing else you can do besides pull the lottery lever. And the problem is, you have to try the whole time just for it to collapse. And man, that's rough. But here I am. It's not perfect. That's what I made. XN, out. We'll call back later. I do truly feel like that run could get 100 wins. And that this is unlucky. In all my runs, I have never once seen that build. Not only one that cleanses all status effects once, but twice? Hey. What are the odds? It's unlucky. I gotta go again. Run 3. A run where everything is perfect. I have 2 diamond belts, diamond lemon, getting all the perfect build except for the second bat, which means no permanent sunlock. And guess what happens? I find an enemy where exactly that matters. And it's a thorn build. One where if I drop a single turn against a stunlock, I take immense damage. Although not that immense damage. And really, I should have won here. I should have had the bat. I would have won to 50 damage because they have the same, they have the armor loop, which means that poison is never gonna tick. And I lose to damage. So I have Junk Smith, a potion, and a mirror. All I need is one bat. I have the combo. I need one lemon. That's the bat. I got it. All I need is one of the 2. Good. Lemon. Heck. Okay, so now grade leather. Why not? Diamond leather belt. 116. The build is complete. Yep, there's no way I lose. I know that. He has to attack. Okay, finally free. There it is. Victory! Heck yes! Oh my word. And that's the end of it. A new patch is out. The bat and crystal mirror are directly addressed. Champions holding a combination of items that are no longer possible are retired from rotation. And what items have been retired? The bats. Double bats are no longer possible. Crystal mirror is no longer in the game. The Iron Skin Elixir has been heavily nerfed, and those two alone make it so that the build crafting for this build is dead. It is no longer possible to infinitely stun in a way that I know of, and I will be retiring for now, happy with 50 plus wins in total, and that I have conquered the meta. How difficult would I say this challenge is? Say a 7 out of 10. Not the hardest skill-wise, but in terms of brutal RNG, he's absolutely up there. It's like if you had to play and win an entire round of poker just for one shot at the lottery, and if you lose, you have to do it all over again. It took dozens of hours for this footage, and quite honestly, I'm exhausted. Thank you for watching, and XN out.